So here we go. This is going to be a tough one. Sometimes at nap-ins, someone will come up to me and ask me if they could reduce the briquette into a point. I say, sure, maybe. I'll try it. So this is what a lot of people end up with that they would call a briquette. You know, like a charcoal briquette for barbecuing. I mean, this could be a tool like an adze blade, but usually when this happens, it's not because they want to make an adze blade. It's because they wanted to make a paper-thin arrowhead. Yeah. Yep, they were going for a paper-thin cahokia or something, and they end up with this. Okay. So then they asked me, can you finish this out for me? No. Yeah, sometimes, I suppose sometimes you might find artifacts like this. But yeah, I don't have any artifacts similar to this, so I don't know. Maybe some of you do. Yeah, it's not going to be too difficult to nap. It feels like high-grade material, at least for that first flake. Oh yeah, it's not bad. I thought it was going to be really bad stuff, but no, it's okay. So I'm just going to randomly pick at it and hit it really, really hard. Yep. One side, then the other. I should probably decide which is the tip and which is the base. Probably. But not yet. It's too soon. We'll see. I want to get the ends thinned down. I think I'm going to make this the tip here since it's really, really thin already. And I'm going to have to take a lot off the sides to get this straightened out. Get the turtle back taken care of, I mean. It's already straight, pretty much. I got to remove the turtle back. So we can get down to business. I think it is raw chert. Yeah, heat treat does not resist like that. Heat treat will cooperate. Even if it crushes, at least something happens when you hit it. This one I have to hit extremely hard so it feels like a raw piece of chert. So far, no concrete that I can see. A lot of the little bifaces that people give to me end up having concrete. That's one of the reasons why they had trouble with it. But this one, I think this one is just a raw piece. It's, you know, typically stubborn. Raw is usually stubborn. Not always, but usually. Okay. Yeah, very fast strikes. I'm trying to hit with the end of the mallet, but sometimes I'll hit up here But if I hit with the end of the mallet, it's a lot faster of a strike, which is what I want. I don't want it to be moving like that, because with a small piece, relatively small and thick, if you hit it slowly, it'll shock your hand. That's how you know you're hitting with the correct speed, when it's not shocking your hand. If you feel a lot of hand shock, you need to hit harder, believe it or not, because the harder you hit, the faster you hit, the more you're using the weight of the workpiece against itself. It's going to resist because of the momentum. You know, it takes time to get up to speed. It'll resist that fast strike more than a slower strike. All right, so I got one side pretty flat, except for that bump there. I'll get that in a minute. I think that's my next target. This bump right there. And then figure out, I need to remove this little boogery spot right there. So that'll kind of straighten it out. Once this is gone, that tip goes down some, it'll be straighter. But I'm going to get this little lump off this bottom end here first. At this stage, it's so thick that it doesn't really matter what I do. I can work anywhere on it. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It is a little bit tough. The flakes are not traveling all that easily. Yeah, even with extremely hard strikes, these flakes are barely going halfway. Try not to lose much length or width, but you know, sometimes you gotta. The weather is kind of cool. I think it's pretty cool weather everywhere right now. Big old cold front came in. My nose is running because of the cold weather. There we go. Still need to get rid of that lump there, though. I just went for the low-hanging fruit first. Okay. Yeah, I really should regularize it some more so I can have some better striking platforms. Let me see. I haven't tested to see how well this pressure flakes. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those. Too tough for the copper. So pointy steel, yeah, that did it. Pointy steel pressure flaker. Just power right through there. That's it. The good thing about steel is with the pointy pressure flaker, I can either do really fine pressure work or, you know, drive some flakes on tough edges with tough material. It's a versatile tool with this pointy steel. It may not look the best as far as flake quality, but at least it'll flake. Yeah. At least it'll give you some flakes. And once you get in there, that's the important thing. Just need to get in there. Yeah. Heavy pressure. I need to make another Ishi stick. Because this little short pressure flakers are for small arrowheads. Yeah. This is relatively small, but that was some heavy pressure because the edges were thick and bulky, which is perfectly fine because I need to remove some thick flakes. But it's much easier to do it with an Ishi stick. In case you're new, in case you're wondering, in case you're not bored already at this stage, I'm still in the preform stage. It's still a biface, rough biface. You'll know when I switch over the mindset because it'll be a good preform in a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that I won't be able to do a delicate point from this because it is such a tough. It's good quality stuff, but it's tough. And good quality means it's consistent. You know, you hit one spot and it's pretty much like the other spot you just hit. Yeah. Which means you can get used to it and not have much of an issue. With thinning. Although the napper before me had issues with the thinning, so I'm not sure exactly what the issue was. Because there's no story written on it or anything, so I don't know. Sometimes I mention that because sometimes I'll write on mine, the ones that I have set aside. I'll write a little note on it why it's set aside. Usually I just set them aside so that I can work on them later and there's no major issue or no special thing to know about that piece. But if there's something unusual about it, I'll write it on there. What would be special and unusual, you might ask? I might write down like should be heat treated or unknown material, really tough, something like that. Not all of that together, but I'll say need to heat treat. That'll be one note. On the next one, I might say really tough, unknown material. And on the next one, I might write something like good candidate for paleo because of the shape or whatever, etc., etc. This is a good candidate for paleo. That's what kind of brought that to mind. Because of the shape, I can make a Angostura or something out of it. Hell gap. All right, so now it's in the preform stage. It's more refined than just a biface. Biface is a general term for anything that's flaked fully or 60% or let's see, up to 60% can be called a biface. If it's 60% flaked on both sides, biface. That's my arbitrary number. If it's got 60% flaking on this side and 60% flaking on that side, it's a biface. If it's only 50-50, it's more like a spall or just a rough biface, not a real biface, quote unquote. Maybe I should designate partial biface and full biface. I don't know. Maybe that felt like it was going to fly out of my hand. Why? I don't know. I hit that and it was slippery. Anyway, I've got it to where it is pretty flat. I can make a paleo out of it without thinning it down at all. So when I reach this stage, it's just time for pressure flaking to regularize everything, and I'll see where I am and see if I can thin it down some more. See if I can thin it down after I pressure flake it. I don't like fluting ones like this because it's too narrow. It's too much of a chance of snapping it. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to make a little Clovis out of it because it would snap and all that time spent on it would be wasted. There are ways to brace the sides so you have better chance to run a flute. You can wrap stuff around it. You can mount it to a stick or I don't know what. Use a jig. Using a jig is the most reliable way to do it. If I were to make this into a small Clovis, still got to make the jigs and stuff. It seems like whenever I want to do something other than Flintknapping, I don't get any Flintknapping done. And I just cannot do that. I can't just put all the Flintknapping aside. I got to figure out what to do. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Yeah, in the past, if I wanted to do something different, I would just take some time off from making videos. So it'd be like 2 months, 3 months, no videos in the past. But no more. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to film everything that I do, and that means I got to flint knap regularly. I'm not going to film my experimental things because it takes me longer to experiment if I have it on video. And I don't know what I'm doing. And it will look like I don't know what I'm doing when I'm doing the experimentation. Like if I were to show everything, my process of setting up a jig and then experimenting with it, putting in some preforms into the jig and seeing how it works and blah, 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 and snapping a bunch of them before I get it dialed in. I could do all that on video, but then it would take me twice as long. The whole process would take me twice as long. Num-de-num-de-num. 19 minutes. I could do a point in 30 minutes. Finish this out in 10 minutes. Especially if it's like an Angostura. Yeah. Just a good candidate for an indirect percussion strike. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it didn't go nearly as wide as I thought it might. All right, I'm going to grind down some more edges and do some random strikes here. Just to thin it down a little bit more. Still a little bit bulky in some areas for me, especially on this bottom side. I need to get rid of some of the bulk. Yeah, I can tell it's tough because it doesn't grind down easy. It doesn't abrade easily. I should take my gloves off for this part, because they get in the way when it gets this small. But with the amount of force I'm using, I could easily drive one of these flakes right into my fingertip and then be laid up for a couple days. I don't want to aggravate any cuts at all, even though there might be minor. I don't want them to become a major issue by messing with them. Oops. Yeah, it's good when it's consistent. The material is consistent, so it's so much nicer than wondering what's going to happen with every hit. I don't like wondering what's going to happen. It's consistent, but I still messed up a little bit on the tip there. I'll come back to it. I just want to get rid of some of the other bulkiness. Youch. I'm gouging way too much. I'm gouging out way too much of the edge. Yeah, I need to switch to a smaller flaker. To my smaller indirect horizontal punch. This is a horizontal punch, in case you didn't know. Yeah, the smaller one will allow me to get in there without removing too much. In theory, should be able, yeah, should be able to get in there and take care of the rest of this with the smaller punch. Oops, not like that. Let's see. The edge is not low enough. Okay. I don't want to lose too much of the edge, so I'm only going to be taking a little bit off. It's only going to lower it a little bit, but that should be enough. Yeah, it smells like somebody's barbecuing out there. I can smell the wood being burned. And if it's not a barbecue, that means they're burning some good barbecue wood in their fireplace. Yeah. Smells good. Okay. So I got to be careful near the tip. I got to be really careful. It's very easy to overdo this. Very easy. And what I mean by overdoing it, it's very easy to overshoot or crack the whole thing. All right, so I should be able to do the rest with pressure. Should be. I know some of these had parallel flaking, but it takes a long time to get set up to do the parallel flaking with the indirect percussion flaker. But yeah, I could do a bunch of these narrower flakes if I set them up just right. And do a bunch of those in succession. But it takes too long. I'll eventually do it on video, yeah. Did it do anything? Yeah, a little bit. It did a little bit. All right, am I getting there? Getting close. I hesitate to do those basil flakes because I can just snap the whole thing, but this is still relatively thick. I'm not too afraid. Just a couple thinning flakes, that's it. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. 2 minutes. Dang it. So first, just get rid of the lumps, and then I'll shape. I'll get the symmetry done. Do the lumps first, and then I'll do the symmetry. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah, all these shirts are the same color as the pad. Still haven't made the pad darker. So I'm just going to go around the outside. I've only got a minute left. Let me cut it off here, and I'll tag the rest of it onto the end. Yeah, I think I got about 5 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop it here, and then I'll tag the extra 5 minutes on the end. Okay. All right, so I just got a little bit more to do down here. And on the edge of the other side of the blade, it's already pretty sharp. So the only thing that's left to do on this is get rid of the lumps, do the symmetry, make sure it's sharp, and then I'm going to grind the sides of the stem. It'll be a Angostura. Random flaked Angostura. I think that's such a thing. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is such a thing, or there is such a thing. Take care of the lumps first, and then I can do the symmetry. Scratching back the edge because I'm going to take some lumps off. I need to be able to push hard. Let's see. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you want to get rid of the lumps so it's got a nice cutting edge. Yep. Nice cutting edge. Gotta make sure it's not too wonky. Doesn't need to be perfect with these paleo types. Yeah. They must have been doing a lot of these at the same time, in my opinion. Now, I'm not sure exactly if Angostura has like a certain number of thinning flakes from the base. I got my book behind me, right? Yeah, is it put away? Yeah, it's in the box. I could look in the book and find out if the Angostura has a certain number of flakes that are common. Like this one, you can see there's a thinning flake right in the middle there. And over here, there really isn't, right? So I need to send up some thinning flakes. One. Let's see. Grind a little bit more. I'll send up three, maybe 4 thinning flakes. This is 1 so far, and then 2, and 1 in the middle. 3, maybe 1 more. 4. So 4 thinning flakes. Remove the deltas. And I won't mess with the other side. Well, yeah, I will. I'll take 1 from there. Just because it's lumpy right there. See, that's It's got a lump right here. So take a thinning flake. Right there. Maybe another one. Yes, yeah. Do one here on the side. Yeah, it's kind of lumpy right there. Gotta make sure I got a ground edge. Already 5 minutes. I said it was only going to take me 5 minutes, but it looks like it's going to take about 6 or 7. All right. 1. Oops. I slid on that one. Still good enough. All right, so I'm going to even it out. Oops. Even it out, not mess it up. So I can grind it. I'm doing this from memory, so I don't know how nice and neat these bases are. I don't know if they're neat and clean or just kind of random. I'm going to make it neat so I can easily grind it. The more neat it is, the more easy it is to grind these things. Without messing it up. Because if you have real delicate edges and they're all kind of wonky and you start grinding on it, it chips away at the side too much and it doesn't look even anymore. But if you get the edges nice and even, then not only does it dull down faster, it doesn't look all wonky. Starting to look almost like a Midland, except the tip is too pointy and it's too thick. Yeah, there's a game going on, so might not have too many views on these today. All right, so time for grinding, time for grinding. Base might be a little wide. I don't know. Should I have constricted it more? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm doing it from memory. This might even be a bit small. So I don't know. Okay, nice and smooth all the way around. There's no sharp spots. Yeah, okay. Good enough.